All right, welcome everybody to the live stream. Want to get some introductions here and just kind of set the stage. So today we're talking about templates, how to use and create different templates for the Flexi software. Um, just as we're waiting for people to join in here, we'll want to just mention that if you are interested in training for Flexi or for EnRoute, we do offer training, one-on-one training with me, and we can set that up. So if you want to contact our customer service, get some information about that, it would be a good option for you. Uh, we also have that information on our website at thinksai.com. Just go to the section where it says the menu at the top, and then click on training and events, and you will see at the top of the page there a link for our training. So just be aware that that's available. Also, we are live, so that means that if you have any questions about Flexi, this topic, or any topic about Flexi, you can ask those in the chat, and we will try and address those either at the end or at the middle, or at some point we will address those questions. So if you want to go ahead and do that, feel free to do so. So glad everybody's here, and let's go ahead and get started. So templates. These are probably an underestimated feature of Flexi. It allows you to create some easy, quick stuff that allows you to kind of throw in a bunch of information and in a template form to do all kinds of different things. So we're going to kind of walk through the process of creating some of these templates and how to get them to work properly, what kind of information we can put into them, and things like that. So let's jump right in. I've got Flexi pulled up here. All right. Okay, so templates. They are under your file menu, and you go to templates, and we have this guy right here. So I'm going to pull up my templates toolbar, and pops up as this little window right here. So I'm going to stack this up at the top. We got several different options. We can open a template, we can create a template, we can save a template, we can modify an existing one, and then we have several different tools here that we'll kind of go over. So first of all, let's just import a file. So we got a little sign here for Taco Tuesdays, and I'm going to grab this and let's just apply a template to kind of see what happens. So I'm going to go to my file menu, we're going to go to templates, and we're going to apply a template. I've got several here that I might be interested in. Not really sure the CD DVD label is really relevant anymore, but if you still have them around, I guess we can do those. But we've got some for invoices, job info. We got a couple of different here. And then there's a slew of them that basically convert the image into several different sizes for us. And so for now, I'm going to throw this one into an invoice, and we'll just see what this looks like. So when we do it, the invoice doesn't look too complex. This particular one doesn't actually include a placeholder image at all. And so it uses mostly the information from the file. Now you'll notice that when I do this, it also creates a additional file for me. So it applies the template and then creates a new document for you. So you can always go back to the original document if you need to. Oops, that one is a blank one. There we go. So here's our original file. Let's actually go and grab the, that invoice one wasn't super great, but let's go to templates and go to apply template. And I think I like the job info one better because this one kind of gives us a little more information here. So Select this one. This one actually does use the image when it creates the template, and then it gives you all kinds of other information down here. Now in this particular case, this stuff here is blank because I didn't really apply any of the information there, or I didn't put anything into these fields. And we'll show you here in a minute where we're going to fill out these fields so that when you do apply a template, you can actually make sure and get that information filled out. But there is some information that it did do, and it put in the date and the sign dimension. So it did fill this one out for us. So I guess if we want to then apply this to this template, particularly to this this template, and we want to get the information, where do we put that information? So I'm going to close this one down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my original file here that I opened up. So this is my .fs file. I'm going to go to my edit menu, and I'm going to go to job info. And this is where the information or some of the information gets pulled from. So I can have a job number, and maybe we'll just type in some stuff here for our example. Maybe we'll do $50 or something. We'll put 50 in there. This order is taken by, say, me, Aaron. Maybe we have a purchase order number. Maybe our order date was today, so 07/20/2020. Maybe the delivery date is tomorrow. And no shipping. Let's just say this is a taco sign. And then comments. Maybe we'll just say install on the front door. I can also put the customer information in here. So let's just say this guy is John Smith. And this is Taco Tuesday Inc. And we'll just come up with a number here. Kind of fill some of this information out. And USA, phone number. Oops. And let's do an email of John at tacotuesdayinc.com. So we've got some information here. We also see that we've got some statistics. These are just information about the file in general. This kind of gets pre-filled by the software, like date created, modified, access, that kind of stuff. There's also some other information here, like number of colors, characters, and a few other things in here as well. So I'm going to hit OK. And now this time, I'm going to go to my file, templates. We're going to apply another template again as well. Let's try this one this time. Job info 1 and hit select. And it's going to pull in my file. Oh, you know what? Okay, so it looks like I've got some text over here in this file, and that's why it's not filling it in completely. So let's actually go back and fix that. So I'm going to close this. And let's zoom out here. Apparently, I have some text way out here. Yeah, let's get rid of that. That's why it's not zooming it to the full screen like it should. Okay, that's actually much better. This is probably going to do better for us here. So apply template, job info. In fact, this will probably give us a better view of this one here too. There we go. So we can see that it tries to fill it in as much as possible. And then it pulls in as much information as it can. So we put in the customer name and whatnot. And then my comments, put those down here, put in my estimate and different things like that. So the great thing here is that I can just send this to a local desktop printer if I want. So if I just have like a desktop printer and I just want to print out an invoice for somebody or just kind of a preview, maybe actually even send it out with the installers or something like that so that it accompanies the job, we can do that as well. So this will just go right to a printer. So what about creating one? And actually, let's go back and let's apply one more here, just kind of so we can see some different things. Let's take a look at, let's apply this template to one of these, for example. Well, this is just kind of like a collection of some different size images. This might actually not be, or it might be helpful in, let's say if you wanted to print a bunch of 8x10s and then a larger image, you could kind of set those up that way, this way. So it's kind of just organize these in kind of a nice organized way. It's giving you some different sizes here. So kind of a unique way of doing things, but let's go back and let's create a brand new file. So I'm actually going to create a new blank Flexi document. And in my screen here, I'm going to open an existing template. And I'm going to open up job info and hit select. This will load up this particular template right into my Flexi software. So you'll notice this is how we actually modify or create these different fields for this template. So these are all placeholders. And so each one of these is a little bit of a placeholder with a specific tag associated to it. The way that we create these tags is we don't just type them out, but we use the options in the toolbar here to make sure that these are working properly. So we have a couple different options up here. So this one up here is active drawing placeholder. So that would be this one right here, this big placeholder here. This is a placeholder for a drawing, and you'd click this second option to put that in. If you wanted to use the used colors, so you can see here, I've placed the used colors in here. And this will show me all the colors that are being used in that particular job. Also, I can use the used fonts placeholder. That's this one right here. This will tell me all the fonts that are being used in this particular drawing. So that's kind of nice. It'll give me a list of how many fonts were being used. And then the last thing that we would want to put is the job info placeholder. This is the most common one that we'll use or to insert all of these over here. So if I click on job info placeholder, in Design Central, I can specify what I want this to be. So this will be key to have Design Central open. I can choose whether I want it to come from job info, customer info, or other. Other is going to be that third tab that we looked at inside of the job folder. So if we look at this, we can do number of colors, number of fonts, number of characters, date, time, file name, scale, quantities. There's tons of stuff in here that we could put in. We can also do, for example, let's pull in job info. We can do a job number or a price or perhaps the order taken by. So once we've selected that, we can modify the font. We can tell it what font we want this to apply it in. And then I can determine the font size. What I like to do is I like to just click it on screen so that it actually shows up down here. And then I can adjust the font later. So I can actually just make it larger or smaller based on how I want that to be. So I'm going to move it over here so we can kind of see it a little bit better. So then it inserts this in, and then we know that we can turn on or turn off the label. So if I turn on the label, I can edit the text right here. So I can edit this text and maybe say employee or something like that. And then anything after the little greater than, less than symbols, those are the items that are actually going to be replaced by whatever data or data field that you've put in there. So I probably want to put a little semicolon or a colon in there. And that'll update as well. So now, once I've done this, I can just click on my arrow tool selection. I can move this around, and I can put it wherever I want. If I start clicking on some existing ones, I can actually change an existing item to something else if I want to. So for example, I could click on this one, and if I go to my Design Central, all I have to do is click on the template, and then I can modify anything about this template that I want. I can move it around, I can place it into different spots, I can change the label on it if I want, the size, the font, I can do anything I want here. I can also change attributes with the drawing. So for example, I'm going to click on the drawing here, and if I have my template tab pulled up in Design Central, I can change the size. I can tell it to auto fit the drawing if I want to. I can also tell it to auto orientate. So maybe it will auto orientate sideways and fill it for me. I can also make sure that it sets it proportional so that it doesn't de-skew it or overstretch it so it looks weird if I want to, or I can just have it scale it based on a percentage. Once I'm happy with what I have, I'm going to go ahead and delete this one up here. I can save this template, and either I can save it as a new template or I can save it on top of an existing template. So all I have to do here is if I hit save, it will overwrite the job info template. Or if I hit save as, I can give it a name, and then I can make this my own custom template. So in this case, I'm going to hit save as or save template and see how that goes. So I'm just going to look over a few other things here to make sure that they're correct. So for example, with the used colors, I can define how many colors per row I want. So I can change this up to maybe 3 colors per row so it doesn't use up so much space. I can change the diameter of the colors. So what this is going to do is it's going to create some little tiny round circles that allow me to see what the colors are being used in this file. So spot colors or whatever it is. It can be a square or a circle if I want to, and I can change the diameter. So maybe I go a little bit higher. It's at 0.15, so maybe I go at 0.2. Click on used fonts here. Again, kind of the same thing here. I can tell it to put several fonts per row if I want to, and I can adjust some of the parameters there. Let's go ahead and save this again. Save template, and let's go back to our original file. At this point, I can just close. I'm going to open up my Taco Tuesday sign. I'm going to select my object here. I'm going to go into templates and apply my job info template. I'm going to say just selection only in this case and select. This time it's rotated it for me so that it could expand it and make it bigger to fit a bigger preview in here. Also, you can see that it's added the colors. So these are all the colors that are in the file. It's delineated black and white out specifically in case you're printing on like white paper. You would never see this color. This color also would differentiate it just to make sure you knew that it wasn't just like a black dot on the screen or anything. So black and white are always named out, but the others are not. Handley Regular, this is the name of the font that I used here. Now, you will notice that I used several different fonts here. So I used fonts here, I used fonts here, and here, and here. Not all of these fonts showed up here. And why is that? Well, the main reason why is because I actually converted these, in this particular design, I converted this text to outlines. If I had not converted this text to outlines, this would show up as a font. So because these have been converted to outlines, that's why it didn't show up in my used fonts section. So we can see here that this has got a ton of information. It's got my price that I put in there. It's got the name of the Flexi file in case there was any questions. So this is the name of the original file. Got that phone number that I used in here, the address that I used, the order date, the delivery date. It's got all this information. So really useful information. So this can be easily customized to do pretty much whatever you want. You could use it in this kind of way to create invoices if you want, or data sheets to go with a particular print, or it can be used to simply format and create a set of particular size of images as you maybe are printing photographs. If you have one of those Canon photo printers and or you do a lot of photography and stuff like that, and you're printing this out, you might use it to create several different sizes of images and things like that, and organize them a certain way to print out on photo paper or something like that. You can print this on your digital printer if you want to, the wide format printer, or you can just print it right to a desktop printer. So if we go to File, Print, I can just print this right to my Office DeskJet Pro that I have here in the office. So pretty flexible, allows you to do all kinds of different things to it. I think this is kind of more limited to your creativity and kind of what you think you can do with it in terms of out of the ordinary type stuff. Let's go back just to kind of show you what, what creative options. I think, if we take this DVD label, for example, we can put that into a template, and it's, in this case, it's stretched over a DVD label, and you could cut this out and put this on top of DVD. So there's a huge range of things you could do with this. You could create templates for maybe DVD cases or other things, different types of formats that where the consistency needs to stay the same. So this reoccurring shape always happens, and we need to format this to that particular shape. That's where that works. This is the case right here. This DVD option is the one that uses the scaling option. So it takes your objects and scales it to a certain percentage and just fills the object with it. So with this design, it was a little bit smaller. So I would need to probably scale it up a little bit bigger so that I could fill up the entire thing. The nice thing here is that every time you apply a template, it always creates a new file. So if I ever need to go back, or I didn't like something that happened, or it didn't do it right, all I have to do is go back to my original file, and it's always going to be there. That new file just gets created as its own separate thing. So I can always reproduce this again. That is also going to be really important when doing it, because this Flexi file, this file is the one that has all the job info in it. So every time you create a new file, like these here, if I were to simply grab this logo again and then try and do another template on it, none of that job info gets copied into this particular job. So just something to be aware of, but you can always go back to the original. Then that way you don't have to re-enter that data again and again and again. So just be aware of that. So as we kind of go through here, again, these are some kind of just really interesting ones here. A lot of these are just different sizes. So that's all they've really done here. So we've got 16 2x2.5s. We got some 2 5x7s. So these are kind of more focused on just creating a bunch of copies at different sizes. Could be helpful for doing certain things. And then we've got several job information ones here as well, or if you want to do the invoice, that's one. So your template doesn't even necessarily have to include the artwork. It could be something totally separate that you just want to use as an invoice or something else. Let's just try this one so we can see what this one looks like. And we can see here, this one looks a little bit different. This one doesn't actually have a border to it. This one has no border, which is okay. That is fine. It's got the same colors like we had before, just a little bit different, different layout, a different setup, and different position for different things. So kind of a useful little tool. It's kind of underrated, like I said, not as frequently used, but I think with some creativity and with some tweaking, you could use this to automate certain tasks that you might do frequently without having to retype up this kind of stuff all the time. So now that we're about finished here, do you guys have any questions about Flexi as we finish up here? Put those in the chat, and we'll get to those. And Bennett will send those over to me. He's helping me out today. So while we wait for some questions, now that there's several other people here watching, I just kind of wanted to talk again about the training. If you guys want to do training, or you have any questions, and or you maybe you're experienced with Flexi, but you want help with, hey, I've never done step and repeat, or maybe I've never really dealt with this particular, I want to learn how to do color profiles. How do I create a color profile? Or, maybe I'm new to Flexi and I just need a rundown of, A to Z. How do I get started? What's the workflow of Flexi? How do I add devices, and how do I do contour cuts? All those kinds of topics are able to be addressed on our one-on-one training. I'm in charge of the one-on-one training, so I do those. And so if you can purchase 2 or 4 hours of training. And what we do is we do 1-hour sessions. I record those sessions, and then I send those recordings to you. So if you ever want to go back and listen to them, you can download those and have them forever. So if you pay for 2 or 4 hours of training and you're new to Flexi, and we talk about a bunch of topics, you can just go back, and if you forget anything, just go back and watch it again. You've got an hour, 2 hours worth of training that's customized to you. That's kind of the key here, is that we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, whether it be color correction, whether it be learning how to use the text tool, to learning how to use maybe some of the cloud tools, or if you've seen that, download the Find My Font app and don't know how to use the Find My Font app and want someone to teach you how to use it, this is what this is for. So take advantage of that. You can find our links on our website. So let me pull up my browser here. Let's exit out of this here. So if you go to thinksai.com and you go to the support tab and go to training and events, this will load up our training and events page. And at the top, there is there's a link for the training. So while that's loading up here, it looks like we had a question from Jean Paul Caballero. Can you print to PDF for e-commerce invoices? You know what? Yeah, you can. These files can be printed to PDF. Real quick, so all we have to do is click here. This is where our training and our pricing and everything is for the training. And then if you scroll down, if you're interested in free training, we also offer webinars and things once a month. We've got one for Europe and one for the US. You can sign up for both of them. And even if you can't attend, we will send you an email with the download link on our YouTube channel, so you can take a look at it later when you have a chance. So, but back to Paul's question. Let's go back here. So if I want to send this to a PDF, all I would really have to do is I can go File, Export, choose Adobe PDF as my file that I want to save it, and hit Save. I can also do that this way. So if I go File, Print, I believe, now I don't have it set up because this is because of a new computer. I changed laptops a while ago, so I don't have it set up here, but you can set up oh no, wait, there it is. Yeah, Microsoft Print to PDF. So if you want to use your printer to print to PDF, Windows should allow you to do that. Now, this is something you typically would, if you don't have this print to PDF option, typically you would need to actually set it up in Windows to do it. But I know that there's applications out there. So if you don't actually see this option, you might need to install a what's called a print to PDF application or something. You can search them on Google. They're easy to find. There's lots of different kinds of print to PDF. So you can do it by going to File Export, or you can just go right to your printer, select Print to PDF, and hit OK, and it will send that off to Microsoft PDF. It's going to ask me where to save it. I'll just save it as test, or let's just go taco sign test. Yep. Save that, and now I've got a PDF on my desktop. So just as easy as that, and I think we can try and even import that back in if we want to. Let's actually start a blank file for us here. File, import. And there's our PDF. So just like that, we can say, so we got a couple different options for you in order to print a PDF. So good question though, good question. Any other questions out there for anybody watching? If not, we will kind of start to wrap it up here. And if you guys are interested, we do this type of thing. We do this live event every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, just so you guys know. We also post a topic up on our Facebook page. So if you're interested or want to know what topic we're going to be learning, talking about next week, check out our Facebook page. That's where we post the information for this. But know that every Wednesday at 2 p.m. we do this live. So if you want to join us, come join us. If you want a notification, just subscribe to our YouTube channel and just push that notification bell, and it'll notify you automatically when somebody's going live. And so you can get those notifications for us. If you want to binge watch a bunch of Workflow Wednesday episodes, you can go to our SAI channel and go to the playlist section, and Workflow Wednesday is right here. And so you can play all the full playlist. There's actually a pretty good playlist going on here. We've got some good topics for creating output for other software, creating and managing colors and swatches, creating a printer profile. We've got a ton of good stuff on here. We also have a really good playlist of all of our En-route and Flexi webinars. So if you want to binge watch a bunch of Flexi webinars that we've done in the past, they're typically between 30 and 40 minutes. And we talk about a bunch of different topics, same things we do here. We deep dive into one topic, and we kind of go through all the settings and how to use it and that kind of thing. So if you're interested in that, check that out as well. And that looks like we have that link to our Facebook page right there in the chat. So good deal, check that out. Well, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. So I'm glad you guys joined us here for the Workflow Wednesday today. A little bit shorter this week, but join us next week, Wednesday, 2 p.m. We'd be glad to have you here, glad to answer any questions, and hope to see you guys next week. And you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you guys later.